So many things that I do in my life. I was just trying to find me a wife. But Dan, I can't understand. My woman tell me that she have another man. My woman tell me that she have another man. So many things that I do in my life. I was just trying to find me a wife. But Dan, I can't understand. My woman tell me that she have another man. My woman tell me that she have another man. Everybody know. Okay, she home by me to meet my family. My mommy, daddy, auntie, and auntie. We talking about baby and how I want a tree, not knowing that this girl would leave me. Cause since I young I trying to marry. Oh, I can't find a girl to stay with me. So many things that I do in my life. I was just trying to find me a wife. But Dan, I can't understand. My woman tell me that she have another man. My woman tell me that she have another man. So many things that I do in my life. I was just trying to find me a wife. But Dan, I can't understand. My woman tell me that she have another man. My woman tell me that she have another man. Everybody know. I don't know.
If you fell down yesterday, stand up today. H.G. Wells. This is Get Real with Shameeza, and I'm your hostess, Shameeza Ali. And tonight we have a special for you. Salam, namaste, and good evening to everyone joining us on Facebook, YouTube, and on Island Zone Radio. I think today is the last day we get to say Happy New Year. So to all my followers out there, to all my loved ones, Happy New Year. May this year bring you the best of health, wealth, and prosperity. Please welcome my guest for tonight, Joel Ghansham. Good evening and welcome. It is a pleasure to have you here this evening.
Yes, absolutely. And thank you for including me and asking me. It's a privilege and honor to be here.
Pleasure is mine. You look stunning. I had to get my, knowing that you're here, I had to have my little rose too. So,
can you hear me clearly? Can you see me?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
I'm having a little feedback from you.
You're having a little feedback?
Yes.
I don't know what it is. Could it be the AC? Shut it off. We'll try to make this work.
Check your volume a little bit down.
Okay. How is that?
Much better.
Much better?
Now,
Okay.
When I speak, is someone near you that's listening to the program?
No.
Oh.
Take out
There's
the
a
AC.
little bit of grumbling.
It could be the AC, in the background.
Okay,
Let's take it off and see what happens.
All right. So,
have you shared it on my Facebook page?
Huh?
The link.
The link, if it's on your Facebook page, no, but I can share it to you right now. If you
Please,
go
you
ahead and
can.
introduce yourself for anyone who doesn't know who you are.
Okay, hey everybody, thanks first of all for joining us. This has been long in the waiting. Shameeza and I had spoken back in 2023, and we discussed for me coming on, but her schedule, my schedule, the holidays, and all that stuff. And finally, I made it here. For those of you who don't know me, it is my pleasure to introduce myself. I'm Joel Ghansham, and I've been in the entertainment for 30 plus years, where I've certainly found peace, entertainment, and certainly have made a lot of friends and absolutely enjoy what I do. Every day of our lives, as they say, it is important when you get up in the morning to be happy with yourself, to enjoy what you do, and at the end of the day, to close it off with definitely satisfaction. So that's who I am, simple in a nutshell. But as always, there's more to everybody. You just have to peel back the layers and find out what's really going on. It depends on your interest. So thank you for having me.
My pleasure. Yeah, okay. So let's see if this will work better now. All right. So, you have been around for, like you said, 35 years, right?
Been
That's
around.
You have been around for over 35 years,
Yeah,
right?
I
Tell us,
have been.
you've been in entertainment business. I think you're mostly known for entertainment.
Yeah.
So
So
so tell us what that's like for you.
I'm talking about the late 80s into the early 90s when show business was just peaking, right? Especially in the Caribbean community, and finding a life of its own back in New York. And of course, back then, Guyanese were now starting to come to America by the numbers to live in the US. And there was a man, or I should say a legend, Mr. Ishri Singh. Uncle Ishri Singh is known for his broadcasting back in Guyana. He came to New York and he started doing radio and started doing TV, black and white, on Channel 77, back in the days of the late 80s, like I said, and the 90s. And then back then, you start to hear about, people like Sundar Popo, Ramraji Prabhu, and those kind of folks, and they would come up to New York and they would do a show. And back then, they were like seated show, like more of a theater style show, because it wasn't the big club and jump up and dancing and stuff like that. You were just anxious and happy to go to any little show there because it kind of brings your community together. It kind of brings your culture together. And that of its own was just amazing for all of us. So that started back then. And then there were already some established people, like dancers, just like a D-Raj and a couple of other folks out of Trinidad and Tobago that would have started show business a little prior to me. And then not right after that, I remember going to a show, and it was Uncle Sundar Popo was performing Ramraji Prabhu. I'll never forget it because the song was "Is This Fun Me Want," and so I remember that in my head. And I got up. I was this fine little twig, nothing about 70 pounds, and I got up and I started dancing. And then Uncle Sundar stopped the music and he called me up on stage and he said that come, and he asked me my name, da 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 da. We went through it and he said, I'm going to sing a song. I want you to dance it. And he did. And you can call that was the moment that I was discovered, because there were a gentleman by the name of Uncle Mohan Jaikaran, who owned Calypso City, and he was also a pioneer and such an amazing soul. And may he rest in peace. And he started, putting me on shows, and so it started. And then fast forward into like around 1993, 1994, Uncle Ishri was doing a TV show called Aapki Kushi. And then Soca Paradise came alive by Uncle Bola Singh and his family, and they started Soca Paradise. So Uncle Bola said to me that we should start another TV show because I'd known him well. I used to dance all the time in his nightclub, not as stripper or anything like that. But they used to keep shows. We had elevated by then, and now there was a Soca Paradise. It was a bigger venue. We would keep Sunday shows, Mother's Day shows, all that stuff in those venues. And Uncle Bola started a show with Uncle Ifri, a second show called Caribbean Spotlight. And Uncle Bola said, listen, I know you've never done TV, but I really think you've got the personality. You should really sit in with Uncle Ishri. It was on Saturday at 3 o'clock. You should sit in some days and try to do this show. And I sat in, I did the show, and that created my TV career in 1993. And since then, I've been doing TV, even though I still held corporate America jobs, because you and I both know this culture, this entertainment, this singing, this dancing, this TV, right, cannot put us where we need to be financially, right? So we need to have that corporate job, whatever it is we do on the side to sustain us and sustain us and make sure that we have a good living. But because we love culture and we love what we do and we love promoting culture, and it's something some of us are born with and we absolutely love it, we still continue to do it. So although I held a corporate job, I still did weekend TV and weekend dancing. And it was just amazing because I've met so many people in my lives throughout that came into the business, left the business, passed on, and so on. And it's funny because now I sit and I always say, you know, I listen to songs, I listen to remake songs, I listen to chutney songs. I go to a wedding, a function, and I hear songs, and the DJs and even some of the singers of today's world have no idea who's singing, or they have no idea whose song we're singing back. They don't know the history. They don't study the history. People
Right.
just, and I'm not saying for everyone, but the majority of people don't know the history of songs.
Right. Um, do you do you think as a community, right, as a nation, we're heading in the right direction when it comes to our culture?
So I have mixed emotions about that. I think we're getting more people to be involved in culture. I think we're also getting away from culture. I think we're getting more people coming on, singers, performers, dancers, especially singers. Like I was saying to your friend today, I know all the singers, I'm familiar with all of them. But I would say in the past month, 6 weeks, I've heard must be 50 new songs, right?
Yeah, there was a
Everybody
lot.
is a singer. Everybody's a singer. But I honestly, I wouldn't even listen to it a second time. The lyrics are weak. They don't put work into it. They take a pen and paper, and once it has rhyme to go with it and their music, that's all they do. You know what I mean? And while some of them do exceptional, let me just say that. And while let me preface by saying a lot of us, especially Guyanese singers, come a far way. They've put a lot of work, like videos into it and stuff. But I really feel like lately a lot of us, or a lot of them, I should say, has become very, very lazy, and everybody's a singer, and it's you got
Um, Sorry,
you have got to put the work into
work
it.
in.
If you
Definitely.
want to, anybody can sing. You can pick up a mic. I can sing. But if you really want to be a singer and you want to be a star, you have to walk like a star, dress like a star, speak like a star, act like a star, carry yourself like a star, demand the respect like one.
Absolutely. And I feel that we are losing not only, the culture as a whole, but we're not putting the work in, and it shows, right? We
Very
can tell
sloppy.
when the work is put into, and not every song you put out there or everything that you do is going to be successful and you're going to always be on top. but we can tell who's putting the work in.
Right. But I'll tell you, you can also tell the songs that was worked on, they become hits. And then
Of
the
course.
songs that are lackadaisical and whatever. And the other thing about some singers, they write, I hear 10 songs a month they're bringing out. And then I'm like, what was the last one again? Didn't he, didn't she, didn't, it has to stick. It has to have material. It has to, you can't just write a song to write and drop it. You got to really make a difference, right?
Absolutely.
And do something with power that sends a message. And everything, I also feel, and I know they're going to come for me, I also feel that, I mean, most of the songs are about what?
Joel, if you'd like to, I'm not able to share it on your platform. If you want to go ahead and share it, I can't share for some strange reason. It's not allowing me to share it. So if you want to, you can go ahead and share it on yours. I did send you the link on WhatsApp as well.
Okay, no problem. Hang on. Hang on. Turn around. Every now and then I get a little bit close. Oh, and now I can't even find the thing. Hold on, hold on. I will be back. And I need.
And while you do that, Joel, we'll take a quick break.
Hibiscus has been a flagship restaurant in our community for a very long time. Come dine with us and enjoy our excellent food, drinks and service at any one of our many locations. We are located on 12418 101 Avenue and 22113 Jamaica Avenue. Hibiscus at Elliott's on the Mile in Freeport is one of our newest locations, along with 12402 Rockaway Boulevard. In Guyana at 91 Middle Street, Georgetown. Bring your family and friends and come visit us soon.
Kaichu Restaurant has been serving our community for over 25 years. We offer an enticing selection of West Indian traditional dishes along with a fully stocked bar. Bring your family and friends to our newly renovated dining room to celebrate your special occasion or event with us. We do catering and we also deliver. Kaichu has 2 locations to choose from. Support our
If there's one place that makes hair removal a pleasant experience, it's the Sugar Bar NYC. Specializing in the art of body sugaring, utilizing a sugar gel for the most gentle, organic hair removal. Our method of hair removal is all natural. The paste is just sugar, lemon, and water. We also have specialized in acne, scarring and hyperpigmentation treatments. We provide sugaring services, waxing services, and laser hair removal services. We also provide body contouring services, Botox and fillers.
All right, we are back, and please welcome our guest, Joel Ghansham.
Hi guys. Yes. Thank
Are you? You're back. It's much better
It's much better. Yeah, I think so.
now. All right. So I was listening to you, and I could, it wasn't the best thing, but I heard you spoke about living in New York and doing all the shows, working in corporate America. And then you moved back to Guyana.
Yeah. So I lived in New Jersey, and about 5 years I did live in New York during my showbiz years because of access and traffic. And then, yeah, I've been living in Guyana now approximately, well, back and forth, about 14 years. I've been doing TV here.
And you just moved back because of the entertainment business, because of investments? What made you move back to
So
Guyana?
I moved. I didn't know I was like coming back. I go back and forth. I'm still out of the U.S., but I go back and forth. But so I have, dual residency. But I came back here and I landed a really good opportunity in terms of TV, and I thought that it is something that was definitely needed for many, many reasons. Not only for
Absolutely.
TV, for freedom of being yourself, freedom of being your own person, understanding that at the end of the day, live your life, live your truth, embrace your truth, speak your truth is important. And once you live in respect and give respect. So yeah, so I've
Absolutely.
been living here, and at first it was challenging for many, many reasons back then 14 years ago. But I tried it for a month, then I went back. I tried it for 2 months, I went back, then 3 months, then 14 years later, there we are.
I know someone's asking whose dog is barking.
They're asking what?
So whose dog is barking?
Oh, it's my little puppy. Because she's outside and she wants to come in.
Oh, okay. Now, what was that transition like going back from living here in the US and going to Guyana? Was there a culture shock?
You know,
What was it like for you?
so it was really, really challenging because 95% of my family is out there. It's been out there. All of my siblings, my parents, everybody, my nieces, my nephews are there. Some of my mother's family is here, and I've known them. So that was very, very helpful. But it got very, very lonely. I didn't know how to drive. I didn't know where to drive to. And so I needed to just start over, kind of, sort of. And I had to do it, but it was challenging. But I also likes to be challenged and overcome, because I remember, having a bet with some of my friends and family, and they say you wouldn't make it there 3 months, and ended up, 14 years
14
later. I think
years.
what made it easier too is that when I started TV, I got a lot of pushback, kickback, ridiculed, talked about, slandered, so many things. I keep hitting brick walls. And what that did to me is telling me how much truly Guyana at the time needed someone like me to be a pioneer. So
Absolutely.
as I was facing those challenges, it was reaffirming that they did need someone like me here to open up the eyes and the windows to the soul and to the world.
In terms of culture, in
In
terms,
terms of culture, acceptance, people.
yeah, absolutely. Um, Now, 14 years, right? And you're there, you survived, right? Despite all of the
I survived.
yes, and you're there, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about a little bit, because I think right now in our world, and if you look at social media, you see a lot of backbiting, a lot of negativity. When people see you're getting up, they want to
You're
bring you
successful,
down.
yeah.
I'm sure you have experienced that.
So
How
I'll tell you this. I believe it or not, growing up in the US and starting show business in the US is the worst backbiting in New York I've ever experienced. They
really,
are like vicious evils, even back in my day.
really,
If you were to, oh yeah, it was terrible. You've got some vultures there.
really,
At least, at least a good two I can think of. And while there were great people, there were some vicious one there. You can't wear a better sequence than them. You can't. And I used to say to some of them, dude, we're dancing for $20, and most of the time we don't get paid. We sleep in a basement to get a show, and most times we dance without heater in these schools, Richmond High School. What are you fighting for? Well, this is not going to make us rich. Get an education, get a job, keep this as a side entertainment, cultural gig. Don't come and cuss me down for nothing. You know
Exactly.
what I mean? You want to dance baka sipaya all you want, you do it. You want to dance mejati amla paglahe diwana, please do it.
Right.
Don't come and kill me and reel out my tape. That's what
Right.
they
I
used to
mean,
do. It was terrible. When I
I,
would
I
give in, go ahead.
I feel like what we have is, and we still have it now, right? Like, I do me, you do you. If this works for you, if your thing is simplicity and you feel like you can show up and you can do good with a t-shirt and a jeans, good for you. If I feel I need to show up and be dressed up and present myself well, that's good for me. If
To
I
each
want to
his
be
own.
if my thing is I want to be professional, I want to be respectful and kind to others, and you want to be lawless, and you feel that's going to bring your viewers, then so be it. But don't come at me for being who I am and who I how I present myself.
It was bad in our days, and it was really, really vicious. And just a small handful. But
Yes.
if they know there's a show coming up, they will call the promoters. Don't take Joelle. Don't take Wendy, because Wendy I used to dance. Don't take it. They want, or I wouldn't come on the show. That kind of nonsense. Now I sit back. I'm 58 now, and I sit back and I look at it, and I said, look at what everybody was. Where are we?
Right.
Who
Do
is
you
living in
feel
a big old mansion, and who
do
has a
you
yacht? And who?
do you
It's
feel we,
crazy.
we've grown from those days, which is like the 90s, you know
No, people are people are people.
is it just our people, or do you think it's generally all people that's what they're like?
I will say, because I deal with most of our people, my answer would be our people. But mind you, let me say this: there are a lot of great
Mhm.
Chinese people also. Let me say that. There's just a small handful of vultures in my
Right.
experience. My
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah. So the way I look at it, you have 95% who support you, they
Oh
love
yeah, yeah,
you,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? And
Oh
you
my
have only
God. Oh my
5%
God.
and that 5%, it's not like they're doing anything great with their
No.
lives, or they're making a difference in community. They're just there because they probably wanted to do what you're doing, and they didn't
Oh
make
yeah.
it because they didn't put the effort.
Let, let me tell you, I am so blessed in Guyana. My sponsors have been with me 14 years, big companies. I don't even have to be worried about resigning a contract or worry if my contract will be renewed. I'm involved, I do my work. Uh, we've become family, we've become friends. They respect me for my work and they don't judge me.
Right.
And I equally do the same with them. But we've become such family. It's been 14 years. I know my work inside out. You just say to me, Pepsi's on the schedule. Pepsi's been around since the 1920s because we absolutely love Pepsi for the
See,
love
of
of it.
course.
Keep drinking Pepsi. And I can give you a whole Pepsi ad, right?
Right.
GTT. We love GTT because GTT, and I can go on and on because I've known it so long.
Of
I can
course.
actually, and I've been, I'm an ambassador for about 15 companies, and it tells you how much Guyana has grown and how much Guyanese has grown and how companies are so open-minded here. We have a terrific thing. We have an amazing thing. At first, it was work for me,
Right.
but I also earned it. I had to
Yes,
prove myself
exactly.
I earned it.
Yes. And now that you've earned it, you can just sit back, and you're still gonna have those people who would be like, well, why
Oh yeah.
Joel? Right?
Yeah. Well, because they said they always, I mean, there's a group of people that say, well, why do you have it so good? Or why, Joanne? Because I am willing to put myself out there to say, I am Joelle. You got a question? I've got your answer. What is the name you want to call me? Because I can finish the sentence for you. So I'm
Exactly.
willing to put myself out there, open up my life to you. That's why, Joelle. But most of you who wants to stay behind a curtain, be hidden, be in a closet, be in a car trunk, right? Be under your bed. You choose to do that. And maybe that's
Exactly.
why it's not you.
Absolutely. Now, Sharon says that you look 21. Tell
Who,
us what
Sharon?
Sharon Lauhar. Lauhar?
Oh,
Lauhar. She says
let me
that
tell
you
you,
look
Sharon.
21.
Let me tell you, Sharon, dirty story.
Sharon, we're about to hear about you.
Here, Sharon. So we were, Sharon has to be a little younger than me. Sharon met her husband through me because Sharon and I were friends. And because I used to perform all over, I'll tell you something. Before I used to perform all over, Sharon will come with me to have me get dressed, change, do this, do that. Sharon. So Sharon met her husband. Sharon and I have been teenage friends from since back in the day. There's also a guy named Rick. I was going to say Rick Ramatar. Rick Ramdial.
Rick, I know
Rick.
Rick.
Rick met his wife, first wife, Devika, through me because
Oh,
I brought Devika to the show. So that's Ashton's mom and Nirvan's
yes,
mom.
of course. I know them.
They met. They are birthed in this world because of me, Ashton and
Wow.
Nirvan. So I connect a lot of people. And
Yeah.
my dance partner back there, Wendy Kahn, beautiful, Trinidadian, talented, beautiful. We danced all over the place. So I have quite the hold in New York, and I understand the New York scene.
Now, speaking of New York, right? I'm not sure if it was the last time, but the last time I saw you here in New York, there was an incident. And
Yeah.
I saw Michelle Lake says, "Oh, so this is the jewel who made me late to Guyana." So there was an incident with the flight where they had to turn the plane back and come back to JFK because of disrespect. Can you tell us in your own words a little bit about the incident, what happened exactly?
Well, to be honest, it was quite an unfortunate situation for, I don't want to say for me, but everyone who was affected. So my profound apology to everyone continuously. It was a silly, silly thing that happened. I can give you bits and pieces. So basically, I just gone through a really, really huge surgery, and it was like 2 or 3 months before that show.
Right.
Um, and I was an American airline going back to Guyana, and we were boarding, all was well. I was in a happy place, good, but I can't lift because the surgery had to do with right here.
Right.
So you can't lift.
Lift. Right.
And so I politely said, can you help me? The flight attendant refused. I leaned in, I explained politely, and then they kind of shouted, and I was very rude, but I was eventually helped by another flight attendant. But going forward into the flight, basically, what had happened is that the flight attendant, in my opinion, continued to give a very bad attitude. And I and someone else that was sitting next to me was basically refused service. And I connected my eyes, and again, the flight attendant was rude, and I said something derogatory, and he wanted to show that he had power. That's my opinion, and threatened to turn the plane around. I paid no attention basically because I didn't think. I figure if an incident of that magnitude or has that magnitude, a third party, a fourth party will come investigate before they make a decision that affects 200-300 people. That was not done, and the flight turned around. It was all worked out within like 10 to 15 minutes. It was escalated to the FAA, which is the Federal Aviation. And Federal Aviation is the highest authority when you're flying. They're like the police of the sky. Right? It was escalated to the FAA. A thorough investigation was completed, as of October 2nd. And I've got the document to prove that I was cleared and no violations were found and the case was closed.
Good. So you guys heard it. I know a lot of people were interested in knowing what happened. And there's always going to be assumptions, right? I'm sure there were many assumptions. So you guys
I guess I
heard it
already knew
here
that.
directly from the boss himself. It was something that there were exchange of words. The other person
Few words, it wasn't a big deal.
wasn't a lot of words. Do you think that flight attendant knew who you are?
I don't think the flight attendant knew, but he certainly found out because I was all over the media.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure very quickly he knew. Uh, but
But I'm glad it's settled. And my biggest apology, or my biggest issue, or my biggest takeaway is the fact that people were left there for 3 days. I was already back home, and I want to. If you have not heard me say this, forget about me. I'm an adult. I indulge, and yeah, deal with me. But to chastise, 300 people with children. So I want to apologize profusely over and over for that.
well, I think this should be your last time apologizing now that we all know what happened exactly. Now, Guyana. The attention has been on Guyana recently, as most people will say, because of the Isle, right? We don't say oil anymore for Guyana. We say Isle.
Yeah.
Guyana got Isle. Tell us about Guyana, its oil and investment opportunities in Guyana. What is your view on it?
So when I got here, all right, obviously we didn't have the oil at the time. And then the government, the PPPC government, was voted out. Not sure how that happened, but all right, they were voted out, and they were humble and they left. And eventually, 3 years ago, PPP was voted in, and a huge majority of that goes to the hardworking Vice President, Mr. Barjagdeo, right? Because that man knows this country inside out and he's worked hard and nobody can take that away. He's really the son of this country. And I think he's such a bright man that Mr. Now President Irfan Ali was selected as a candidate for the presidency and eventually won.
Of course.
And what a great blessing. What a great blessing. Because I'll tell you something. I've yet to see a leader, a president. This man can be at a kangan. He can be at a funeral. He can be at a roadside. He can be at 5-6 different things within one day. And you're like, how did he get there? What's going on with him? How many people is Irfan Ali, President Irfan Ali? How many personalities does he have? Right? And I think he's successful because he talked the talk, but walked the talk. And he expects and hold people accountable. And accountable is holding his entire staff, all of his ministries, everyone accountable for action, for deliverance, for success. And obviously that then will trickle down to the citizens, which is exactly where we want it to be, right? Making a difference, doing a difference for the country today, the country tomorrow, the children of tomorrow, who are the backbone of this country. So I think he's building a fantastic foundation. You and I, and maybe people of certain age, may not live to see the entire vision, but I think the vision is being set. Guyana is being successful because of the leadership it has, and starting with His Excellency, Vice President, and all of the ministers, different ministry. If you look at, let's start with culture, youth, and sports. When I first got here, I had no idea what a culture, youth, and sports is. Now, everybody knows what a culture, youth, and sports is because of the government and because of Charles Ramson. Public Works. I don't even know how many roads by now, 300,000-400,000 roads right? If everybody, and you can all come to Guyana, you will see all the developments from public works, right? That's because, again, the government and the two ministers that are leading, right? Indar and Wanejil. Housing, right? It's so funny because yesterday, my students right across from housing, and I saw people picketing, about 10 people picketing, right? They're
Right.
picketing that they got tossed out from their land or whatever it is. Well, when you're not allowed to squat, right? But whenever you have to be moved, I know for a fact that the government and Minister Susan and Mr. Kroll, they make provision for you to move, right? Offer you a land, a house, help, this, that. They just don't take you and chuck you out. They
Right.
don't do that. We don't do that here. The government don't do that here. They think for the
Exactly.
people. So they were picketing. But I don't want to make this into a big political show, but I want to tell you, I don't hear anybody saying 30 plus, close to 31,000 new lands allocation has been given out to Guyanese people. You don't hear that, but you hear
Right.
the 10 people that got removed.
Exactly. Now,
You will hear about, I think it's 6 new hospitals that are going up, state-of-the-art hospital. Stadiums are being built all over the place. Roads are being dealt with. Money is going up. Pension is going up. Childcare is going up. I can go on and on.
yeah, of
But
course.
that's just my opinion.
No, everything that you mentioned, I am fully aware of it. And I know a few of our viewers are aware of it because I host every Thursday night, we have the Guyana Dialogue. And it features different ministers within the government of Guyana. So I'm fully aware of what you're saying. We love I love hosting that show because I get the chance to listen to what is happening in our beautiful country. Now, Joel, 14 years, right? Is there a chance that you'll ever leave now and come back home?
Like I said, I go back and forth, right? But yes, at some point, I would like to do that. Yes.
Because mom is
Right
still
now,
here, right?
as we're speaking, to pack up my hot pink, blazer and come, no. But eventually.
Eventually. And do you have people in Guyana that you can say, I will hand the torch over to these people? Our culture, our people will be in good hands.
Yeah, there are a few good people.
Few? Yeah.
I'll tell you
You're
something.
scaring me. You're scaring me.
I'll tell you something. I'm not being catty. It takes a certain person to do this job. You've got to be charismatic. You've got to be chatty. You've got to be friendly. You've got to be outgoing. You've got to know when to move forward, when to pull back. You've got to be entertaining. You've got to have a thick skin. You've got to have a sense of humor. You've got to have a good smile. You have to be real. And it takes a unique person to do all of that.
Absolutely. And do you care to give me one name of someone you think who can carry on after you move back or you decide to give up all of this? A name of someone who you think will be fit to carry on.
Do you know a girl, Felice Roberts?
Who?
Felice.
Felice.
She does TV and radio. She's quite sassy.
Oh.
I like her. There are quite a few. They need. The thing is here. So let me give you the short answer. Can they do it? Yes. The problem that Guyanese are facing is that if they speak, if they pronounce a word wrong, if they wear hot pink, people make mockery and laughter off of them. But if you tell me, what's up with your pink? I will say, girl, it was on sale, first of all, right? And I'm bright and I love my pink. Like, I don't care, right?
Exactly.
Not everyone can take that. And if they flubber on TV, or say an inaccurate word, use the wrong tense when they're speaking. People make mockery and laugh then. If you say that to me, right, I'll say, oh, please, I was barely trying to get through the sentence because most of the days I didn't even go to school. Don't even try me. Like, I
Right.
know how to diffuse. And not
Exactly.
everybody has a diffusing mechanism and can take it. And
Absolutely.
so because of that, people are scared.
Yeah. Do you think that will ever change?
I think we're about 50 years away from the culture changing, or how the way people think, act, and what they say. I think we're about 50 years out.
Yeah, I agree. I have Ryan says that he needs your autograph. Ryan Jeffrey.
Ryan?
Ryan Jeffrey from Island Zone Radio. DJ Fest. DJ Fest.
DJ Fest?
Yes.
Isn't he D Raj's uncle?
Yes, he is. Yeah. I don't know if they're uncle or cousins or they're,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
DJ
they're
Fest.
relatives.
Yes, he's,
I love that. Very
yeah,
nice.
he's watching and he has a lot to say to you. Um,
Thank you. I
but
appreciate that.
we spoke about culture, right? We spoke about our people, we spoke about our country. What is something that we haven't spoken yet about that you feel is of importance to our people, our culture that we haven't touched on yet?
Okay. I think Minister Vindi is working. I've worked with her. She is doing her best. I think what we need to, I'll tell you a couple of things. So you go on TikTok and you see people who have a following, right? Like singers and people who are known, right? And they're doing these battles, putting on lipstick, doing a bunch of nonsense, complete idiotic, in my opinion.
Of
My
course.
opinion. You can't sue me if I say my opinion.
No.
What I don't mind the entertainment, and I'm going to segue into what you asked. I don't mind the entertainment, but why can't you utilize that same time to talk about things that are important? Child abuse, child rape, women domestic violence, all the deaths that we're facing, all the accidents on the roadways. Why can't we, the people who have a voice, who have followings, instead of every night doing a stupid challenge, why can't we use that platform to talk about the many ways a child can be abused physically, verbally, sexually? Teach them if someone touched them inappropriately to talk to their priests, talk to their pundits, talk to their imams, talk to uncle, auntie, a stranger. Know what 912 means, 913 means, 914 means. Those are numbers here, right? In Guyana,
Yeah.
just saying. Um, Teach people. We need to bring more awareness to child abuse, sexual abuse, domestic violence, right? I don't hear a whole lot of that.
So
I talk about it all the time.
are you
I
ready
went
for
to one person.
my answer to that?
Yeah.
So here is a Guyanese girl who is in New York. I spent 17 years of my life in corporate America. I was in banking, and I chose during the pandemic to have a platform because I truly felt we needed a platform where we can discuss and have discussions and we can empower others in terms of domestic violence, woman empowerment. We can talk about, different topics. And so I started Get Real with Shameeza, and we have, people from all walks of life. We've had attorneys, doctors, teachers, so many people told their story. And the whole idea was to empower others and to bring awareness. Unfortunately, I can tell you that I can tell you 80% of the people that are watching now are true followers. They've been there from day one. They enjoy the topic, they enjoy what we do. But many others are not interested in topics like that. They will go on TikTok and watch the Bacchanal, and they will watch all the drama. You will get thousands of people, right, or hundreds of thousands of people to pay attention to that and to be a part of that. But when it's things of importance, like domestic violence and all the things you just mentioned, we don't have the time for it. We're too busy. And these are the people that come back to me and say, hey, can you help me with this? I'm going through this. And I'm like, well, did you take a look at this episode that we had that dealt with things like that and all the information that the minister from Guyana shared in terms of suicide and all the other things? And they're like, oh, no, I didn't. Can you send it to me? So, as much as I want to say, yes, we do have a few people who has chosen to have their platform dedicated to things like this. We still have to have the viewers, people who want to hear these things, and we don't have that right now.
But Shameeza, I hear you. I agree with you because, for example, if I go on TikTok and I say something that can educate you or bring awareness to you, I will get 300 likes or whatever, right? But if I go and sing, they catch me sucking it, they catch me sucking it, I will get 95,000 people.
Yeah.
Right? So I hear what you're saying, but also what I'm saying, I'm a true believer that even if it's 10 people, it's 10 more that we're teaching. And next time it might be 15, and we've just got to build it.
Yeah.
Build it.
And that's my thing, right? I know there was a fake profile that came on earlier in the show and said, well, you've been doing this, and why is your viewers? We have our people who come specifically because they want to learn, they want to be empowered, they want to be aware. And then you have the people who don't really support, and that's okay. It's going to be 3 years for Get Real, and there is no stopping. We're going to continue. The people who are interested and who wants to make a difference in their life will continue to watch, and we will continue to feature stories like yours, and we will continue to feature guests that wants to inspire others.
I saw you had Raymond run a rhyme. A legend.
A legend
Oh my
indeed.
God, since we're young.
Yeah.
A legend.
Now, you like I said, you are probably the one of the faces of Guyana, right? When we think about Guyana, when we think about our culture, when we think about so much things, we think about Joel Ghansham, right? What do you want your legacy to be at the end of it all? We know you as that, right? But what do you want it to be?
Okay. So, I came from a very humble place, like we all did in Guyana, right? My legacy, I want to be known for my kindness, for the work I have done in terms of helping people, which I do so much, but I don't need to discuss that. Being kind to someone, smiling every day at someone, doing something, one act of kindness per day. And that doesn't mean giving out of my wallet, giving my car, giving my house, or giving my cat pussy galore.
Right.
That means smiling with someone, stop so someone can cross the road, right? And just doing one act of kindness. My legacy, I want to be known for just being a good person. Now, what I wore and how I danced and what TV show I had, that means nothing. Because at the end of the day, we know what the end game is. We're all going to one final destination. So when you're sitting there and talking about me, I want someone to say, remember he helped the little blind girl in Kanji, or even helped that auntie that time build a house. That's what I want to be known for.
And what a beautiful legacy that will be. Your cat. Tell us how you give that cat that name.
Pussy, where is she? Bring her.
I want to see.
My name, my cat.
Yeah.
So this cat is so spoiled. She has to stay in the master bedroom. She has to have 24/7 AC. very well pampered, very well taken care of. She has a half snack 3 times a day plus a regular meal. So I had another cat named Medulla, and Medulla died in child's birth. And
Oh,
when Medulla died, Medulla gave birth to who is now known as Pussy Galore. She was about this big. Hold on, this
this.
big. I actually fed her with a syringe with milk and took care of her, and she grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And
Oh.
now she's about 50 pounds, right? And I'm calling Jenny Craig for her. No, here is
Oh
see.
my God.
And so I wanted to name her. Are you gonna scratch me? I wanted to name her a unique name, and from this movie called Octopussy, it's a
Yes,
James Bond movie. The character name was Pussy Galore.
of course.
So I named her Pussy Galore. All right.
Very
So,
cute. Very cute. She's adorable.
oh, she's holding on. Wait, you're gonna pull on my clothes. Go. All right, go, 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 go. Yeah, so that's it. I have about 8 dogs because I am a dog lover. Well, I'm an animal lover, so I foster a lot of dogs. I have a lady that cooks only for the animals, and we feed them in the morning and at night. And I also foster cats, and I go around and get them spayed and neutered and all that stuff as much as I can. And you know, I work with cancer patients. That's my passion, and children who need. So that's what I do in my spare time.
Very nice. And well, I have to say, you've lived a beautiful life. You continue to create that legacy that is loved and cherished. I mean, an interview with Joel Ghansham will not be complete if we didn't talk a little bit about love and relationship. Love and relationship.
All right.
What does those words mean to you?
Ah, my God. So I was once married, and I really feel, in terms of to a woman, for those of them who are asking questions, and I think that is the one right thing I've
Get married.
done. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Oh, without a doubt. Oh, absolutely. Oh, definitely. Oh, yes. Again and again and again and again. We're not
That
together
same
anymore.
person?
We're not together anymore, but we're fantastic. We've never, ever, ever probably gone. She called, and I was getting dressed for this show, and I said, "Oh my God, I gotta get dressed for this." So she's probably watching it. But my family and their family are extremely tight, and we're very, very, very close. I can't even explain to you. There would be no words to describe it. Outside of that, I've had a few relationships, and I'll tell you a story. I just came back. So I've been out of a relationship for probably over a year now. And the person went away. Da, 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 da. Anyway, and I was just remind me, on a vacation for a couple of days, and
Yes,
I
I
went
know.
to the Caribbean.
Hmm.
And honey, I may be moving to Austria.
Ooh.
I landed myself a CEO. God was
Wow.
on a yacht.
Kid-
With a yacht. Oh yeah, they come with a yacht.
So this is in the works right now. You guys are listening to this. No one else has heard this yet. This is fresh off of the press, guys.
You're getting it.
You heard it here first. Do you see yourself moving?
My God, I would be packed tonight.
Yes?
Oh my God. Tall, lean, blue eyes,
Whew.
toned, accent, finances. It helps.
Sounds like a dream.
I sound terrible, but yeah.
No, no, no. I mean, no. That I think that's everyone's dream to find that, right?
To you a question. Where is a good place to hang out in New York? Regent Street Bar or
Joel, you can't do this to me, Joel.
they're all our friends.
Of course, they are.
Such talented. What I love about New York, it's so cosmopolitan. It's like a potpourri basket. It's colorful and bright and have every scent.
Yeah, absolutely. And I
And
feel
girl, we know like Queens, right?
yeah,
Liberty Avenue was all Italian bread and what's it, coffee shops and back in the
yes,
day. And honey, we know when they used to cuss out one another, beat each other with slipper, and fight for one another. Ma.
really,
Hey, you know who has really been helpful to me in New York? Angie's used to sponsor like my outfits.
Angie's
Angie's, beautiful Angie,
right.
beautiful, beautiful. Um, so I've known Geeta Bisram them. Oh my God, forever. I know Gemini Ban. So many people we know up there because we all started at the same time,
Of course.
back in those days. Yeah. So we
Wow.
know the history. You can call a song and I'll tell you the name and who sang it and what band recorded it. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's huge because I grew up with the bands that you just mentioned and the people that you just mentioned. I grew up listening and watching these people perform in Guyana, right? And to hear you speak of them in the 90s and early 2000s, it's just so much that,
Do you know there's a lady called Raj Singh. She's from Hubu back down. Hubu.
oh, you're right.
And in 1994, I remember Auntie used to live in Jersey City, and she wanted to make this song. So she was listening to it on a tape. You know the little tapes,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah,
cassette tapes,
yeah, the cassette, yeah.
and the song went like this. And then she took Gemini Band and she
Uh-huh.
did Bakasipaya, I am Modelaya. And that song became such a huge hit.
Really?
Bakasipaya. You have a legend like Sita Pandey. She
Of
died,
course.
but she's legendary Sita Pandey. Devendra Puran, Ramraji Prabhu, Auntie Primati Beam. Those are legends. Sally Edwards,
Of
Sonny
course.
Man. Oh, I can go on and on. Those are legends in our days.
Of course. Wow. We've covered so much tonight, Joelle, and I wish we had another hour to keep going, right? But I truly, truly, I'm happy that we had this opportunity to sit and to talk. I do want to ask, Michelle Lake is asking if the person that you were talking about, blue eyes and lean and all that, does he have a brother?
Have a hot friend.
Oh, there, Michelle, he has hot.
Michelle, friend. Hot friend. Not that I was looking. I was over
Yeah.
here minding my business. But a
Well,
hot friend.
we're gonna need a part two.
Oh,
We're gonna need
girl.
a part two
And
in our regular season of
you
Get
can
Real.
see them on the yacht, on the front, on the deck, and the champagne and the food. Oh, honey. Whew.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like the life, Joelle. Please tag me in those photos. And Michelle and Rowena and Sharon, we want to know what's going on with you.
Sharon will get all, if you want to know the inside scoop, head to do an in between. Ask Sharon. She knows all the business, honey. She knows the business.
Before we go tonight, guys, I do want to say happy birthday. Happy birthday to Satish, one of my dear friends. Happy birthday to you. And happy birthday to our very own talk show here in Queens, New York, Lakshmi Singh. Today is her birthday. Happy birthday to you, Lakshmi. To everyone celebrating birthdays today, anniversaries, or if you're just celebrating that moment that you're happy just to be you, enjoy. It's a new year, guys, and it's time for us to come out with new things and new ways to celebrate life. Don't sit by and watch it. Joel, before you go tonight, what is your advice? What would you say to people out there that are afraid to be because of judgment and of all these things that's holding a lot of our people back? What do you say to them?
I say to them, be you, be beautiful, be bold, but be respectful.
Absolutely.
Once you respect other people, does it matter? And if someone is questioning who you are, is that the kind of people that you need? You know what I mean? What does it matter what people do? What does it matter who they love once they love?
Exactly. Great advice, Joel. Thank you so much.
Happy birthday, Lakshmi! Lakshmi used to dance with us when we were little.
Absolutely. Good evening to you, Joel.
Take care, everybody. Thank you
Take
very
care.
much. Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, guys. So before I leave you tonight, I just want to say that we could learn so much from Joel, the way he has lived his life, the way he carried himself, the way he has upheld our culture for so many years, and he has dedicated his life to uh, our people and our culture. I feel a lot of us have it in us. We want to continue with our culture. We want our future generation to know about our culture, know about our people, know about our traditions. And we all have it in us. And little by little, if each one of us put little things together, we can all make a huge difference in the life of our future generations. So whether it's me talking about domestic awareness, or having a platform where people can come on here and they can speak about their lives and inspire you, each one of you have it in you to find a way to make a difference in this world. I hope this is the year that you find your purpose, you find the reason why you're here on earth, and you make the most out of it. I'm always here to listen, to give advice. And if for any reason you need me, please feel free to reach out. But this is the year we're going to make a huge impact here in Queens, New York, and around the world. We're going to make a difference. All right, guys. So until next time, our regular season should start sometime in May. I'm not sure of the date. Please keep watching. Check my social media pages to find out when our news season will start. But we have a lot of guests already lined up for that season, and I'm excited. Until next time, be real, be positive, and be the best version of you. Good night, everyone. Bye bye.